how insane this home run derby is going to be. I honestly think they should measure it by how far it goes instead of how many they hit, because those things are going to be moonshots. It's just going to fly out of the park. I'm so excited.
I don't believe we've ever seen it even in batting practice, but someone, and this is where you earn the $1 million, this is where some lucky fan in the stadium was going to win a Ford Tundra if someone hits a ball up into the rocks pile. Someone will do it. Someone will do it.
My money's on Vladdy. Let's go. I'm so excited.
I love it. I mean, there's so we got a couple of people here in the comments section asking whether or not they should turn off the humidor for the weekend. Just let it go. Like totally. Like why not let it fly? Especially for the home run derby. We don't keep those balls in the humidor. What are we trying to improve, right? I got my guy Stanton, by the way. I'm one of my from my superstar draft who hit one. How far did that one go today? But yeah, if we can get him in the home run derby out here, he's known to hit them. I think he's the guy that's come closest to actually putting one in the rock spot. That was in a game. So
the players' parking lot out in left field is going to be. You may not want to park there. You may want to.
Yeah.
If you're Aaron Judge, you may want to park it in a garage somewhere in Lodo to keep it safe, because there will be a lot of balls launched out there well over the hit the mitt sign. Our guy Justin Wick from Purple Row said this is what the rooftop is made for, and that's absolutely correct. That actually, I would not want to go. I would not want to be there. Yeah, you do not want to be there. That's
old
a danger
for that
zone.
Scene. Yeah.
I'm not. I'll be there.
Makayla's like going straight to the party deck.
You don't want to be in the dugout interviewing players after the derby? Okay, Makayla, you can sit on the rooftop.
You guys can have that one. I'll be at the rooftop.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
It's honestly a toss-up. It's gonna be the whole thing's gonna be a party. It's gonna be an absolute blast, I think. One of the things, just as you were talking about all that stuff, Patrick, I was thinking about Trevor Story likely to be the Rockies representative in the All-Star game this year, whether it's his last year here or not.
Does that lock up whether or not he gets traded or not? At least by the All-Star break, right? That locks that in. It will have to be after the All-Star game, obviously.
And another showcase for the former third baseman who is likely to be a participant in those festivities as well. So that'll be interesting.
Josh
an opportunity to Josh Fuentes' cousin. That's right.
DJ LeMahieu should be returning. Yeah. We could see the return of David Dahl possibly.
It's like a nice reminder of all the mistakes the Rockies have made in the past. It's like when your ex texts you up, and you're like, I guess so.
I guess we are.
Who throws out the first pitch?
Bring them all back. Yeah.
Great question to figure out who represents our city the best. You've got that. We've got the national anthem to go out. Of course, we can get the Lumineers. That I think would be a fantastic pick.
I'm your music choices today.
Fan, so if we could get some 303 throwback music out here, I'm all for it.
Not for the anthem, but the pre-show
for the pregame part. Yeah,
I think we could sing a good anthem. It's like the anthem goes pop punk.
Okay, I'm gonna forget you said that. We're gonna move on to the next part of the thing. Let's do talk just very briefly, because Patrick, we hashed some of this out a little bit. There are a couple of potential drawbacks if they don't get another game soon. How concerned are you about those things, or about accepting kind of ultimately less than what they maybe would have been in line for if they hadn't just decided to go this route?
Well, yeah, I mentioned in our Slack this idea about negotiating, or being a tough negotiator, and we saw where that got this organization when it came to Nolan Arenado. And I spoke to someone today who said that their concern was also that the Rockies' turn for the All-Star game was actually coming up. The last couple of years, there've been these overtures that, hey, Coors Field is about to host. There's 30 teams. Everyone typically waits around 30 years. There are exceptions for that. Some teams have waited, certainly a lot longer. Again, my All-Star game experience was in '96 in Philadelphia. They got a new stadium, and they've still yet to host, and they're approaching 30 years. So you go, all right, well, maybe 2028 was going to be their timeline, maybe a couple years sooner, maybe a couple years later. You would hope that in the negotiation process that, Momford and the decision makers in the front office would said, look, you guys kind of need us. And we're glad to step in, right? We're glad to help out. But we still want a normal All-Star game where we can have 105% capacity. We have a fan fest that goes on for a week, not maybe just a couple days. We want enough time to plan in so we can have a reunion for every single guy that played even a single pitch for the 2007 Colorado Rockies.
Right.
The entire Blake Street Bombers need to be there on display. There's usually a red carpet. There's like a small parade that goes on downtown. This might be something that might not happen this year, obviously, because of it. You say, hey, that's not fair to Rockies fans here in Colorado. And so I just hope that part of this negotiation wasn't just, oh my gosh, wow, you're giving me this gift? Well, hold on a second now. Like, you're gaining something from this too. It doesn't just go one way. So you know what? Let's make sure that we're going to host a game, let's say in 2027. We'll see if that's the year that it hits on. So that's what I'm hoping the case is, because the fans are going to be happy with getting the game this year. But I want to see more of them going into the ballpark so they can have that memory like I did. More of them being able to go to the Fan Fest. And if you know what, the money doesn't line up for them, they can just go down to maybe the 16th Street Mall and just stand behind a barricade and see Arenado again, or Goldschmidt, or Mookie Betts, Ronald Acuna Jr., Vlad Guerrero, all of these fantastic ball players, and say, I was there, I saw that. Because right now, as it stands, they might not get that experience, and that's not fair to Colorado baseball fans.
Yeah, for sure. I think that's all right. So we'll wait to see as those details come down. In the meantime, at the very least, we do just get to be excited that here in a couple of months, we get to partake in, as you said, the Midsummer Classic, one of the great events. You know, the other All-Star games and the other sports have kind of become like inconveniences for their players. And like the Pro Bowl is a joke. The NBA All-Star game, I will say, is a blast. It's a lot of fun, but it's not basketball, really. It's a glorified game of horse going on out there. The Midsummer Classic, man, is just real. It brings all the best talent in the game. When I was a kid, I remember like making sure my parents knew we have to get home in time for the starting lineups. Like, I need to see the way the crowd reacts to every single player, the way they boo the in-division guys that they don't like, or the guy who hit their dude last year, the way they go absolutely insane for their own players, even if it's just, you know, their relief pitcher. This is the only guy who made it into the game. He's getting the biggest ovation today anyway, you know, stuff like that. There's so many little things, those moments of Torrey Hunter, Robin, Barry Bonds, and he gets to have that moment where he doesn't even care that he just lost a home run and he lifts the dude up over his shoulders, all the things. And even the nature of the game that you can't like mail in a pitching or hitting performance, right? When you're out there on the mound, the guys don't just lob it in at 89 because it's the All-Star game. You know, you're giving them your best stuff. You want to show the world what you can do. And when you're up there hitting, this is BP. Like, these guys take this very serious at the very least, right? So it's just, the game is usually very competitive. The guys are out there trying hard. I love the All-Star game. I'm so stoked that we're going to get a front row seat to this. Like, obviously us, we're very lucky. The three of us are very, very lucky that we're probably going to get to be there. And it's just like, man, that's really cool. It's, you know, even if as we said before, even if the franchise doesn't necessarily deserve it, the community does. The Denver baseball fan does. This is something to feel good about after a long time of there not being a lot around here to feel good about.
Yeah, for sure. And I think it's going to be huge too for, you know, the city, the businesses around Coors Field, lower downtown, like kind of getting some of that, you know, that business into the city of Denver is going to be so great for the smaller businesses, the restaurants, everything that's around Coors Field. You know, obviously the restaurant industry and some of the smaller businesses were hurt the worst during the COVID pandemic. And so, you know, maybe this will provide some of that much needed relief. And I can't think of anything better, you know, for those businesses. And I'm sure they're probably even more excited than we are. You know, there's obviously still a ton of questions surrounding the game. What's the capacity going to be? Like you guys mentioned, what are the events going to be? But, I think one of the reasons why Colorado is a perfect place for this is because we're doing so well with the vaccine rollout. Everyone's eligible for the vaccine starting on Friday. That happened on Friday. So if we can kind of keep on track of what we're doing, like maybe capacity, which is at 40% right now at Coors Field, maybe get bumped up a little bit. And, not only are we doing really well with the vaccine rollout, we're also doing really, we are historically one of the best states for voter turnout, voter registration, all that good stuff. So I think Colorado really is the perfect place for this All-Star Game. And I think it's going to be a much needed, relief and reward for the people of Denver, like I said before, the businesses around Coors Field and in lower downtown. And I think it's just going to kind of be very much a breath of fresh air that we've all really needed after such a hard past year. So I'm so excited. I literally it makes me so happy. Just the thought of it coming here.
And with the game being on July 13th, think about, again, we're not there yet, but think about what it looked like a year before, where we were just finally getting baseball back and summer camp, as it was dubbed. And so baseball was back, but the fans weren't back yet. And so to just flip the calendar a full year and to be able to have people inside the ballpark to enjoy the grandest spectacle that we have in our game, that will just be so exciting. And I can't wait. This is just wonderful, wonderful news for Colorado's baseball fans.
I'm very excited. Everybody out there, let us know, what it is you're most looking forward to about the game. Is it the home run derby? Is it some of the young guys? Who are the celebrities? I saw Wild the Innocent throwing out Don Cheadle. If we're going straight Denver celebs and we're bringing it, I was like, okay.
Dan Soder's a guy. He was raised in Aurora, a comedian, actor on Billions.
Yeah. Dan
Danny
Soder could probably, yeah. I was going to say, who else are the Denver area celebs?
See if we can get Sam Talent in there. He's a local stand comedian, just released a book.
There you go.
We'll get all the guys from Frolics. The guys who can't.
Shout out for Adam Caton Holland, fantastic stuff. I've been watching a lot of his stuff recently. It's been on my YouTube or whatever. And that's what's great about YouTube. You should subscribe to our channel here, because then you'll get all kinds of our content. You'll get more Rockies stuff. You'll get more DNVR stuff. That's one of the nice things about how that works. So, yes,
there we go. Philip.
Out the first pitch in the game would be amazing. The only thing more amazing than that would be if a Dodger ran out there and tackled him while he was throwing the pitch and no foul was called.
Or rather, why don't you just give him one of the balls they use in basketball, so it can look like a baseball, but it's a basketball, so he's used to it in his hand as he heaves it towards home plate, and Aaron Gordon will have to catch it. He's got a good catcher-sized body. John Elway, yeah, we'll see him.
Yep.
Cowboy Cerrone. Cowboy Cerrone, he's a Denver guy. I mean, he's another one. There's a lot of.
How dare I forget Matt Stone and Trey Parker? That's on me. That's terrible. I don't know. Yeah, so Corey Sanhagen. Yeah,
we got a lot of fantastic, Olympic athletes, and a lot of marathon runners that do their training here in Colorado. So we could tap into some gold medalists that we've had in the Olympics.
Makayla Schifrin.
Best name ever.
Right?
Missy Franklin.
Missy.
Yep. Goose Gossage.
We just have to say Missy here. I love that. Goose.
Yep.
Goose would be great.
Mom Dukes hooked that one up. She's there. It would be great to see if Roy Halladay's family. Like to see them at the ballpark.
Yes.
Kind of give them a shout out. That would be another really good one. Of course, Mark Melanson's from the Colorado area, so he might even be able to make it on his own there with the as being a closer with the Padres. Marco Gonzalez there, another Colorado product. Hopefully, Kyle Freeland could be healthy enough, and maybe in a handful of starts. Who knows?
You never know.
He'll be there.
He'll be there in some way. Wouldn't that be cool? That's too bad. It's unlikely, but it's gonna be a great time. And if there are a few unfortunate pieces of fallout, well, then we'll think about that for another day. This is a great day for Colorado baseball fans, outside of even particularly being a Rockies fan or an organization. It's just the game is coming here. The best in the world are coming to your backyard. They're going to be out there showcasing the absolute best baseball in the world. And one of the things that happens is then it showcases your city and your state and all of the reporters that come in and broadcast on TV, radio, who don't always take the time to look around at what's going on here, come and see all the stuff that Makayla talked about how well we've been doing with voting stuff and with the pandemic, and also take a nice look at that party deck, take a nice look at downtown Denver, have a good time, and recognize that this really is one of the most beautiful places in the world to take in a baseball game. We're going to be the center of the baseball world this summer. Probably just for one baseball game this year, will Coors Field be the center of the baseball world. And it's going to be this one, so we're going to get stoked as hell on it. Thank you all for hanging out with us. It's been a lot of fun. Make sure you're subscribed to the podcast, that you're subscribed to the DNVR.com, that you're helping out all of our sponsors, drinking that Strava Craft coffee, subscribing down there. You got your Breck Brew and all that stuff going. We really do appreciate each and every single one of you. Follow us on social media at Drew Creasman, at Patrick E. Lyons, at Makayla E. Perkins, all the social media stuff. You got to give us a follow so that you're finding out about this stuff and seeing all the fantastic graphics that our production team makes immediately. You don't want to miss out on this stuff. Again, it's really all a part of being the family here at the DNVR. So thank you all so much for hanging out with us. It's not the end of the podcast, but whatever, I'll say it anyway. Until next time, we'll see you at the ballpark.